I've never met a young person that thought they were in advance. I've never met a young person that thought they were winning the race. I know so many people my age from so many different backgrounds and that work and study in so many different fields. I know people that work construction. I know people that are in medical school. I know people that are in engineering school. I know people that are freelancers. I know people that are just unemployed and just play video games. But the one thing that we all have in common is that we all feel behind. And if you're watching this video, you probably feel behind too. But how can we feel behind in the race if everyone we talk to also feels the same way? Are we really behind, or is it just an illusion? It may surprise you, but I don't think we're wrong about being behind. I just think that we always switch the way that we measure the race. I know people that are in school right now that are doing great, but that are not making a lot of money. I have my own business, and so many different people tell me that I'm doing so well and I'm going to be so successful and I'm so talented. But I always compare myself to people that are in school. They may be making less money than me, but I always look at them with such envy and such jealousy of like, you're going to have a more stable future than I will. And then I ask myself, should I go back to school? Did I make a mistake of leaving school? And did that really set me back a few steps? And is that why I'm behind on the race? But then these people that are in school will look at me and see my business that's doing pretty well, and they'll tell themselves like, oh, this guy has it all figured out. This guy already knows what he's going to do with his life. This guy, he's already in the workplace. He's already building credit for himself. And so we both look at each other like the other person's in front of us. And I think we're all like that. We always change the way we measure our success and our progress and focus on the variable in which we're disadvantaged compared to the person we're looking at. And that could be on social media. We know that we're in the best time in history to compare ourselves. We know that we have the most people in history to compare ourselves to. And we can do it so fast. Second after second, we see a person living in a boat, and we see a person flying private at 17, and a dude making bank doing drop shipping, and then we see a homeless dude. Like, there's so many different lifestyles we're exposed to every single day that we don't even know how to measure our progress and our success, because everyone has a different level of success in every area of their lives. Now, maybe you don't have it all figured out. Maybe you don't have a business and you're not in school. You're looking for a job at the moment and you feel behind because you're just sitting in your bed, rotting, brain rotting, watching YouTube videos, convincing yourself that you're going to get up at some point, and you feel behind. Well, maybe you are in that aspect of your life, but maybe you also have a beautiful family, supportive parents, siblings that are not that bad, because I'm never going to say my sisters are good siblings. If you have siblings, you're going to know why. But you have more figured out in that aspect than maybe the guy riding private at 17, or than the guy at medical school that has parents that only pressure him to go to medical school, and he doesn't even want to go there, but he has to do it for his parents. In our comparisons that we do every single day, we never use the aspects of our lives that are going well. And I think why we do it is because we're so used to our value being correlated to our productivity and to our social status. Society has us convinced that we shouldn't celebrate the good things in our lives, and we should always keep looking for the next thing and the next and the next. And maybe you're rotting in your bed right now and you're watching YouTube videos, just scrolling endlessly on YouTube. But dude, you have a beautiful family. You have a nice home. You have a roof over your head. You're not behind. You're maybe in a different stage of your life than you will be in 5 years, hopefully. But celebrate that. Celebrate the small things that you already have figured out. Because once you get to that next level, once you get that job, once you get that degree, you're just going to look for the next thing. And why do I know this? Because nobody feels in advance. Nobody feels like they have the lead. If you think you have the lead in life, compared to other people your age? Comment right now. I want to know, because I've never met anybody that thought they had the lead. Everybody feels like they're last, because we always use different measuring tapes for our races. If we all compared ourselves using the same variable, like money, for example, then we could actually have a structured ranking of who's in advance and who's last. But we don't. We don't have a consensus on that. We're all just comparing ourselves using the variable in which we're doing the worst. If you know me, you know I quit school at 17 years old to pursue a dream of building a media company, an agency. And that first agency failed 2 months after I quit school. And I started another one out of fear that I would be behind. And I'm still working on that business, but just the fact that I took that decision out of fear of being judged for being behind, that actually set me back. So if you're gonna make a decision that will point you in a certain direction in your life, whether that be getting a job or taking a trip, whatever it is, don't ever use comparison as a legitimate way to determine if this decision is good or not. If your dad got a job at a law firm when he was 18 years old and now you're 19 years old and you're still rotting in bed and you don't have a degree and you don't have a job, don't go pursue a job at a law firm because your dad got one when he was 18. You're not in the same circumstances. You're not in the same period of your life. You're not in the same era of society, and you're not the same person. Maybe your path is just to get your dream job at 35. And until then, maybe you'll just take trips in a van and go camping. And I think if you start comparing yourself too much, it'll also slow you down. Not just in the professional job aspect of your life, but in every single aspect of your life. If you're comparing yourself to people that have girlfriends and wives and you're single and you've never met a girl and you're still a virgin or whatever, and you rush the process of getting a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and then you get one and it turns out to be a super toxic relationship, and then 5 years in, you finally let go of that person and you have a bunch of trauma that you need to work over in your next relationship. You're not any further than you were at the beginning. You just took a few steps back just because you took a rush decision because you compared yourself. Don't ever, 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 please compare yourself to others before making the decision. That's not a good way to go about things. You shouldn't compare yourself to anybody else's life. If you want to compare yourself to yourself yesterday, or yourself a week ago, or yourself a month ago, or years ago. That's a good way to compare yourself, because then you can see that you've either made progress in a certain aspect or you've taken a few steps back in a certain other aspect. For me, I used to be in great shape at 15, 16, 17 years old. Now I'm a little fat and I gained a few pounds, which is, it happens. But I can see in pictures and I can compare myself to my old self and see that I've taken a few steps back in that aspect of my life. Same goes for my mental. I now realize that I'm a much better thinker than I used to be. I used to just gobble up information that I'd see on the internet about alpha males and freaking Andrew Tate and all that. And now I can actually listen to what people have to say and form my own opinion about things. And by the way, I said Andrew Tate, but it could be anybody from any sides of the spectrum. I'm much more of a free thinker now than I used to be. But I've made progress in that. And do I feel behind? Maybe I do. But I try not to think about how other people are doing, because that's not a good way to go about life. You're never going to make progress, or you're going to make slower progress, or you might even take steps back if you start comparing yourself too much. So please, just focus on yourself. That's all you need to do. It's that simple. You're not behind, I'm not behind, and nobody is. We're all running our own race. There's 8 billion lanes, and we're all in our own lane. And you know what? I don't even think there's a finish line. So how can you be behind on a race with no finish line? That doesn't make sense. So just think about that next time. Picture yourself in your own lane in a race with no finish line. And I think it'll help you make a clearer decision of what you want to do with your life, or any decision really. Don't compare yourself, please. I think that's it for today. I'll just enjoy this watermelon. I think there's a storm coming. It's really sunny right now on this side, but there's a bunch of rain coming in on the next side. It's beautiful out here. I'm in a park. my hometown, in my hometown, where I still live with my parents, by the way, which makes me feel like I'm behind sometimes. But again, there's no being behind and there's no being in advance. There's only being in the race against yourself. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoy thinking about life in different perspectives, getting better at thinking, and maybe you just need a little comfort from time to time, like this video right here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I try to drop at least a video a week where I talk about my thoughts and my reflections on different aspects of life as a young person. And I think you'll be able to relate to it a lot if you actually do watch the content. So I appreciate you watching this. I appreciate you if you subscribe, leave a like, and send this to someone you think might need it. And yeah, have a good day. Peace.